Hi everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs, and we're going to do a little craft along with me kind of tutorial thing. We're going to be making these little patchwork pockets and then a little patchwork mini journal. I usually make a couple of these types of items at least and put in each journal, depending upon the kind of journal that I'm doing. And you know, I'll just change it up a little. I have a couple that already done, and I'm going to show you how we get to this point. And it'll be quick and pretty easy, and I think a lot of fun. You don't have to have a sewing machine to do this, but it does, I think, make it look a little bit better in the end. So it's up to you how you want to do it, and you could hand stitch this if you wanted to. But anyway, let me show you kind of what you need, and we'll get right to it. First off, I do want to say I hope everyone is having a great day. It's a Saturday here for me, and I am just happy to have the time today to get in my craft room for a little bit and work on some stuff. And it is my happy place. And I do want to say that I greatly appreciate all the very, very kind comments, and the people have taken the time to comment and like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. I had no idea how this would be received when I started doing this, so I'm hoping that people are getting some value out of this, and I'm helping some people and making some friends along the way. And so far I'm really enjoying it. I love it and having a great time, and I'm probably going to continue doing it, but we'll see for right now. I did want to tell people that I had made this journal and done a tutorial on it. This is the Valentine's journal that I made. It's not really Valentine's-y. It's a romantic type journal. There is a flip through out there. If let me zoom. Let me see if I can fix this a little bit. Yeah. There is a tutorial out there, so if people want to go through and see the full flip through on this, they can. I am going to be giving this away to one of my subscribers on the 14th, February 14th. So if you would like to be in that drawing, all you really have to do is subscribe to my channel, and it will be a random giveaway. And so just subscribe to my channel and you'll be in the running. So anyway, let's get back to what we were going to do. Let me move this out again a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I think that'll get us in frame there. Okay, so what I want to do first is kind of show you the stuff that I use to make these. Get it all out here. What a pile of stuff that I use. Here we go. Is that everything? I think so. Get a little bit more organized. Get all my material over here. Obviously, I use material, scraps, or, I had just done a haul where I got a bunch of vintage pieces off of eBay. I use, scraps of lace, just for little pieces here and there. I have one of these little file folders that I bought a pack of 3 or 2 or something, I think at Tuesday Morning. And I use it to kind of trace around to cut out little file folders. I just really couldn't see buying a bunch of them, pre-done, even though this is nice. But I have so much cardstock and so many other things that I just kind of figured it really wasn't worth, purchasing them for me. So I basically just use it for, you know, tracing and making them. And there's other ways you can do it and tab and all that. But to me, this is just an easy way to do it. What I use, and I use different things. This is just what I'm using right now. I took a file folder, mainly just because I have a lot. And I just took this and laid it down and just traced around it, you know, with a pencil or something. Nothing earth-shattering. Just went around it. You know, and then cut it out. And then I just ended up with this. This is, you know, not big, but I mean, you can make it any size you want. This is just the size I made it, so it's, geez, let me tell you. This is what's a good, 6 inches in height and just about 4 1/4 in width. And that was pretty much, if you open it up all the way, that's, let's see, almost 8 3/4 this way. So that to me is just a good little size to fit in most journals. And you know, it's not too big, not too bulky. And then for my pocket, I usually make them, it depends on where I'm going to put it. If I know where I'm going to put it, I'll make them 6 inches wide, because most of the time your pages are that wide. This one is 6 inches by 4 inches. And, you know, depending if I'm going to put it in the front of a signature or on a page, or, you know, that will kind of determine the width of my pocket. This one I'm going to put in my romantic journal, and it's going to go on a page in the signature, but I want it to be a little bit less than 6 inches. I think maybe 5.5. So I think I'm going to cut that down just a tiny bit. Let me get my little cutter out. So anyway, you're just going to cut it down to, you know, whatever size you need. I might even go a little bit, about 5 1/4. I'm going to try that. I think that's closer to what I really need, because the page is about 5.5 and I want it a little bit smaller. I'm going to leave this this size. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make both of these now, and then that way you can kind of see how we did this. And it's a pretty easy process. It's kind of a lot of fun. You don't have to put a lot of thought into it. In fact, the more you think, you know, probably the less likely it's going to turn out. This is just my little glue book thing, and you know, I don't know if y'all have seen these. What you do is you use it to glue when you're doing glue stick, and when it gets really bad, you just fold it in half and then you use those pages. So this is just, it's not a whole book, it's just part of one. But as you can see, you've got glue there. I use a glue stick to do this. If you are not going to sew this, you probably would want to use something like your 3-in-1 glue, because you want it to be able to stay permanently down and flat. And I don't know that a glue stick, even though this is a good one, it would do that. So I would just recommend using something stronger than a glue stick. But I use a glue stick because I come back and sew, and I know that I'm just kind of doing a temporary gluing it down just to get me to where I want it. Okay, so I'm making a pocket for my romantic journal. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about the colors that are in it and pick through my pile. And I'm just going to pick out colors that I know go with that. You know, I have little pieces here and there. I'll kind of put those to the side so I can grab them later. I'm just kind of going through the bigger pieces and see. what do I have that kind of goes with that. And like I said, I like things to match, but I don't like them to, you know, match perfectly. So I just want them, I guess I want them to coordinate is what I'm trying to say. And that's kind of the look I'm going for, is just a coordinated look. You know, just things that will kind of all go together, maybe. Let's see, I don't think I have any red in there, so I probably won't use red for that. Let's see. So that's kind of how I do it. I just go through and I pick some colors I think will go well. You know, just to kind of coordinate a little bit. And so then I'll put those, move these out of the way, put them aside next to me. And then I'll pick some different laces, and they don't all have to be the same kind or the same color. In fact, I like it if they don't, or the same texture. I want them all kind of different. There can be wide pieces, there can be, you know, cotton pieces, nylon pieces, whatever. And I have those ready. So then if I'm doing my pocket, so I'm going to have my little whatever surface I'm gluing on. And I'm going to look at this and just cut a tiny, you know, and I cut my pieces different widths. So I'll just do this and then do that, because I like the little tattered ends on there. So I'll cut that and start gluing. And I'm just trying to make it look kind of haphazard. I don't have a real plan. I just do it. Now that piece to me, I normally probably would not use a piece that big. So I would take that, and I don't worry about it overlapping. I'll cut off the ends, but I'll actually like it a little jagged. I don't like it to match. Let me see. Let's get one of these pinks. I think would be good in there. Now see, I made that width. So the next one, I may make it wider. And maybe get like that. I try not to put too many big pieces on here because I'm trying to vary it, you know, quite a bit. So, and like I said, I'm not wanting it to completely, you know, glue down perfectly, because I'm going to be going over that. So let's see. Let's see what other colors am I going to put in there. Got some other little pieces here. And you want to kind of vary which way the pieces are going, because you don't want them all to be going, you know, the same direction. You want to kind of move it around, and you can overlap them a little. That's no big deal. But you're basically just trying to fill in the puzzle. All right, let's see. I think this piece would look good up there. Well, maybe not. Let's see if I can find another one. And what I do while I'm doing this is I'm just keeping in mind, you know, the colors that I have and the color scheme that I'm doing. Okay, so we probably want a little bit more glue right up there just to keep that down. So let's see, maybe I'll put that down there. So as you can see, there's really no rhyme or reason. I don't care if it's hanging over the side. I just kind of keep going, trying to vary the colors and maybe the spacing a little bit. Okay, so maybe I'll put that down there. Maybe here. I think I'm just going to do that here like that. Well, I really want something else there too. But I don't want it to be the same. I try not to put too many of the same pieces on there because I do want it to look, you know, very random. And I try and move the color around. Let's see. Okay, that might work there. Yeah, I think so. Maybe just like right here. And I don't know. I don't really know that you can mess this up. I think it's pretty impossible. You're going to have a lot of little strings and things while you're doing this. And just don't worry about it. You can cut them off later. I don't cut all of them off. I like some of them on there. You know, to each their own. I just think I want a lighter color in there too. Let's see if that will fit. It's a little bit too, no, it'll fit. I think that'll work. And I don't care if they're overlapping. That doesn't bother me. So you don't want to overlap them too much because then you're kind of wasting your material, you know, but it doesn't matter if they do a little bit. And like I said, like, see, I have, to me right now, I have way too many going this way, so I have to go up and down a little bit. You kind of just kind of eyeball it as you go. There we go. That's good. And then, do we want to put this down here? That could be cool. Yeah, we'll do that. I hope everyone is doing a little crafting or getting some crafting in, because I'm telling you, I don't know, my days when I cannot craft just really bug me. I don't know, there's like, my whole day is just not right. I don't really know how to explain that other than it just isn't right. It feels like there's something missing, you know. So I wonder if I put there like that. Then I think I have too many going that way. So how about if we do that? And I love adding elements that have material and things like that, just because, again, I love the texture that you get when you do that. Oh, I didn't realize that's two pieces in the same. So maybe put that right here. Make it a little bit smaller. So you're kind of trying to fill in all little blanks so you don't have any file folder or, you know, left or whatever it is you're using. You can use index cards. A lot of people do that. And then when I cut these off, I don't cut them right to the very edge. I'll let them overhang purposely. If they're frayed, that's even better. Most of the time I try and put the frayed edges on the end. Okay, so that's not done yet, because now what we're going to do is we are going to take some pieces of lace, and you don't have to do this. I just do it because it just breaks up the monotony of just the color. And I'll just take maybe like little 1-inch pieces or less. Take some glue. And like I said, I'm only putting the glue on there to keep it temporarily down. So maybe I'll take a white piece, you know, and the more random you do it and the more different you do the pieces, the better it'll look when you do this. And I don't even put them on straight most of the time. I put them on crooked intentionally. And then I put different kinds on there. I don't put all the same. I'll put this up here. Get that string out of there. And let's see what other, maybe put this beige down there. I do try and vary the colors a little bit and move them around the page. And I don't overload it with the lace because, then you're just kind of, you've just kind of undone what you just did. But I just do it, like I said, to kind of break it up a little bit. That piece I think is too big. And I don't want my pieces exactly square or anything like that. No, I'm certainly not anybody that came up with this idea. I think it's been out there for a while, so there's no way I could tell you who came up with it originally. And there's lots of videos out there, and they may do it completely different than how I do it, but this is how I do it, so. Anyway, so that's kind of how I'll do it. I really would like this a little bit more random. Put it more on the edge. It looks like they're all centered in the middle too much to me. So I'll put that right there and then have it coming off the edge, and then, yeah, I like that a little better. Maybe move this one. That's what's cool about using the glue stick too. You can kind of move it around. And then like these pieces that are hanging off, that much, obviously I'll cut those a little bit. But I still don't mind them hanging a little bit. I just actually like that. All right, so that to me is done. The only thing that I would do after that is that I would take it to my sewing machine. And if you see this red one that I did for my quilt, for my Valentine's journal, I just take it and stitch it. And I use a zigzag stitch because I'm actually trying to have the stitches noticeable. And if you can see how that looks, they're all over the place. And you pick up, first I go around the edges, and then I just kind of go haphazard all the way through it a bunch of times, as you can see, and just try and get all the pieces down. And when you're done, if there's like a little piece hanging on the corner or whatever, you can just take your fabric tack or your 3-in-1 and glue it down. And that's done. So that's all we do for that. So that's what I would do with this. And it'll look just like this one. Just, this one's not sewn. This is sewn. But like I said, it still doesn't look bad if you're not going to sew it. I think it looks kind of neat. The sewing just kind of adds to the quilt quality, the crazy quilt kind of thing. And now I think you can see how the little pieces of lace here and there really add to it. At least I think they do. So anyway, let's work on our little file folder. All right, so this one I'm going to make to put in my Valentine journal. So we're going to take out fabrics that I think will work in there. Let me get some of these out of the way. Some of these will work in there, but not all of them. So I think we're going to work with that. It has a lot of reds in it, some pinks. So we can take some of these pink ones, maybe a few. But I don't think it has like a lot of maroon and that kind of thing in it. It doesn't have a lot of other colors in it. So we'll do that, maybe that. So I think I'll put these other ones aside. All right, so I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is basically the same thing. And this is the outside of my folder. And I'm going to just do the exact same thing that I just did with the other piece pretty much. Oops, there we go. Now I have a bigger surface area. Now the only thing different on this is going to fold. And of course material, you can fold it, but I wouldn't put this edge, you know, like that, because it'll show on your folder. So I did a few that went across like that went across the fold line. And like I said, I tend to get the frayed edge right up above the edge, and then I don't cut it off later because I think that looks good. And you know, you can vary up and down and however you want it. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't really pay a lot of attention. And I don't think there's any way that you can mess this up. I think it would be pretty hard to do. So I think we need a little pink somewhere. Let's see what pink we're going to use. Got this pretty heart material. Got that. I'll put that down here maybe. Let's do that. And then maybe just a smidgen smaller piece right here. Like that. I don't want them all going the same way. Let me just put that. I'm really trying to avoid having a piece that small right there. So I'm going to put maybe this right there. Where I buried my glue stick. Here we go. Anyway. Well, not much going on in my life. I finally got a lot of my Christmas stuff sorted. I have so many Christmas decorations. I don't know what happened. I think when my kids got older and moved out, since I had 3 boys, I never got to have nice things, really. I don't know. I mean, you know, they weren't destructive, but it just wasn't a smart thing to do. And plus, you know, money and things like that. So basically, I kind of went crazy for the first few years, and I decorate my house unbelievable for Christmas. And this year, I don't know what happened. And my whole family, you know, my brothers and sisters, I have 5 brothers and sisters, and they all come every Christmas to my house. And we all have a great time and everything. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work doing all the decorations. It's a lot of work, you know, dealing with all the people and, you know, the cooking, all that kind of stuff. And it's gotten to where people kind of expect me to do all that. And, you know, and I don't mind it. I guess I've put myself in that situation. But I was telling my husband, there's no way I'm doing it again next year. I mean, I am ready to just take a break from it. I don't know that I'll not ever do it again. I just don't want to, I don't know, I just don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm, you know, at the end of February still putting Christmas stuff away. So I've just decided that for me, I need to just take a break, you know, just not put myself in a situation where I resent the fact that I do it. And, you know, I do it. Nobody says, oh, Tina, you need to decorate your house, you know, and do all this. Or, you know, nobody puts that on me. I put it on myself. Those are choices I make. And I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that I'm going to make a different choice because I'm just burnt out. Totally burnt out. I don't want to, you know, next year be spending so much time doing all this. To me, it's just, as much as I love doing it, I don't want it to be a burden. That's all I'm saying. It's kind of like me with the journaling and not selling my stuff. I get to the point where when I make things, when I've done different crafts and things and sell it, and I don't usually have a problem selling it, which originally when I first started doing it, I thought, well, you know, gosh, I wonder if anybody's going to want my stuff. And, you know, it's kind of scary putting yourself out there and all that. But what I found is that isn't really the issue. What the issue winds up being is that you end up cranking stuff out because, you know, if you're lucky enough, you have people that like what you're doing. Okay, that's wonderful. Except for the fact that now you have to produce it. I mean, you have to, you know, make it, and you may be making a lot of it. So then what happens is you're just mass producing things, or not mass producing, but, you know, it's a production line, really. And so I just don't like doing that, and it takes the fun out of it, is what I'm trying to say for me. That's what I think happens. It just kind of takes the fun out of it. So I don't like to, I find such a joy in making these journals right now that I don't want that joy to go away, is what I'm probably trying to get to, and I'm probably not being very articulate about it. And I think that's kind of how I felt about decorating my house, is I had such joy in doing it. And I don't know, this last year it just got to the point where the joy was gone. And when the joy is gone, that's when you gotta slow down and just take a look at it and decide, you know, okay, I wanted to show you this here. This is the tab, and I'm just kind of going over this, and I will cut up around it later, but just wanted to show you how I did that. And I'm going just across, and as you can see, this piece is quite a bit bigger, so you're going to have, you know, a lot more, you know, pieces going back and forth. So let's just put that there. Anyway, so I do love decorating my house for Christmas. I really do. But I've got to just put it on hold until the joy comes back, I think. Until I really want to do it. And, you know, that's just, I think that's what you have to do in any situation. I've seen a lot of people that have junk journaled that have, like, taken a break from doing it, or taken a break from being on design teams. And, you know, I get where they're at. You reach a point sometimes when you're getting burnt out, and you don't want to lose the love of what you're doing. I think I'm going to too much red there. I want to put a little bit more pink in there. You don't want to lose that. And so sometimes it's good to step back, to just take a little sabbatical. And I mean, that doesn't mean I'm not going to put a Christmas tree up or anything like that. It just means I'm not going to go crazy And I say that next year. I mean, I probably feel this way every year when I'm putting all this stuff away, but this year, I don't know what it was, but I just was exhausted. Partly, too, as I ended up having people wanting me to make journals for them, which was wonderful, like I said, to get that affirmation, but boy, I'll tell you, it just, it killed me. I was just, I did so much, and it was tough. I'm not gonna lie, it was really tough. I put that right here because I'm trying to think how many I did. I did a few that were a little ahead before I started doing that. I think I did like 11 journals in probably 15 days. And it was really, really tough. I mean, and I had committed to doing it for these people, and I wasn't going to not do it. I almost just said, hey, I'm sorry, I just can't do it because, Christmas, you're doing all this stuff, and if you're like me, I buy all the presents, get all the food. Although I have to say my husband is amazing. He is so helpful and so supportive. And he does a lot of the shopping and stuff like that. I don't want to put another one of those here. I think I'll put that down here. I just don't... I want to have time to do the things I love doing. And that changes from time to time for me too. I don't know about you, but whatever craft I'm doing or whatever, it can change. I mean, I can't see myself not doing junk journaling because I'm telling you, I love it. Haven't found anything that I absolutely love as much as this. It's just been a blast. Just a blast. I don't really, and I don't know what it is about it. I just think you get to do so many different things. You get to play with so many different things to make it work, That's what I think. I think it is. I mean, I think that's what the draw is. At least that's what I've come to the conclusion. So I have one of those there. I have one of those there. I don't want two red pieces like that. Okay. So anyway, I don't know what I was rambling on about, but I finally got all that stuff situated, and I went through my Christmas things and sorted it all out, and I'm definitely going to whittle it down to where I don't have as much as I did, do, because I do have too much, definitely. So I want to kind of make sure that, I'm kind of keeping the stuff I really love. And I don't have any grandchildren yet, and maybe that will change, hopefully soon. And I think maybe my feelings will change then too. Of course, again, you go through that cycle where you can't really have nice things when you have little ones around. I kind of went through that. It was funny. We are dog people. I raised golden retrievers, and we have a golden retriever and a little schnauzer that we rescued. And I think between my sons, myself, my nieces and nephews or whatever, we had 7 dogs here at Christmas time because people asked, and they know me, they know I love dogs, so they it wasn't like a out of the blue type, I mean, I'm sure they thought it would be okay, but they were polite enough to ask if they could bring their dogs for Christmas because, you know, they come from all over the country. I mean, they don't all live in this state, which is, you know, that's wonderful. And I need to be grateful for that and quit whining. I just need to quit whining about that because a lot of people don't have that. But, what was I saying? Anyway, so we had 7 dogs, and it was a zoo. It was really a zoo. Amazingly, they all got along wonderfully. They really did. They were very well behaved, and they were so sweet, and oh my gosh, it was a lot of fun. But, you know, I was actually amazed, totally amazed at how well those dogs behaved and didn't mess. And like I said, my house is decorated to the nines, and I have some really expensive ornaments and things on my trees, and you know, all that. And those sweeties were wonderful. They didn't mess with anything. They were so well behaved. Oh my gosh. They played together nicely. So it was really a beautiful thing. It was just a beautiful thing. And I love my puppies. I do. I love them all. I love my kids, you know, dogs. And now I will have to say there were some relatives that were not thrilled with all the dogs because they are not dog lovers. But my feelings on that are, you know, I am. So if you don't like it, go to somebody else's house because I'm not changing. I already kind of had a piece for that, didn't I? Okay. It's getting to where I'm getting too many little strings here and there. So let's put that. Did that go all the way to the end? Good. And we need one little piece down here. Do I already have one? But as you can see, I wasn't really paying attention to what I was doing. And it will probably work out. You know, it's probably going to work out. It's like I said, it's really hard to mess this up. It is just very hard. Very, very hard to mess this up. I think I saw a little thin piece a minute ago, and now I can't figure out where it went to. That's okay. We can always make another one. What color do I want to put in there? Maybe this right here. So, anyway, those dogs were just adorable. Anyway, I have probably, 5 trees that I put up in my house. And it's really kind of funny. Those dogs did not touch one single ornament on those trees. But I have one tree that's in my dining room. It's a really thin little tree. And on it, I do it all in gold and silver. And the ornaments on it are just Dollar Tree plastic ornaments. They're not expensive like some of my other trees. Well, that looks done. And my son's golden retriever, my youngest son, he has a dog named Ollie. And oh my God, he is just the sweetest dog on the planet. Love, love, love that dog. I love all of them. Anyway, so I kept him here last year when my son was getting ready to move after college to Colorado. Okay, so I'm going to trim around this a little bit. You know, I don't leave it that haphazard, but like I said, I do leave like the frayed ends and stuff. Let me do that. And I mean, you can do this later. I don't do it all. I don't have a set way of doing it. I don't think there's a certain order you have to do it in. Anyway, so I had Ollie last year at Christmas time. My son was staying with us, so I had him during the day. My son would be at work. And I kind of made a pact with Ollie because he wanted to get stuff off the big tree and play with it, because that dog loves to play fetch. I mean, loves to play. He has enormous energy. So anyway, he loves to play fetch, and he was trying to take things off my big tree in my living room with expensive ornaments, and I didn't want him to get in the habit of doing that. So anyway, I let him take, occasionally, I would tell him to go get, he would ask for permission, basically. He'd come up to me and look at me, and anyway, I let him take ornaments only off the tree in the dining room with the ornaments from the Dollar Tree. And that dog is so smart, he knew that that was the only tree that he was allowed to take them. And he would take them and bring me one, so I would throw it, you know. It was so funny. And he didn't do it all day long. He just occasionally go get an ornament and bring it to me. And it was just so cute. And so anyway, my son has been away for about a year. So he came to visit yeah, it's going to work, at Christmas time, and I had the same setup, and Ollie went to that tree and brought me some ornaments, and I thought, well, that was something else. That little guy remembered that that's what you do. That's the tree you go to. He didn't go to any other tree, didn't mess with anything else, but he wasn't here an hour, and he brought me some stuff, it was just adorable. So adorable. So anyway, that I thought was so cute. Okay, so I'm just doing what I did on the other one, and being aware of the fact, and that's why I kind of folded this to see where my line was, because you don't want to put stuff just on the line like that, because then if you do, it's going to kind of come up. You can put it kind of like that, or, you know, anyway, but it was so cute that he just remembered that this is the tree I can get stuff from, and it's okay. It was really adorable, I thought, but, you know, I am a little prejudiced. But that was cute. I call him Ollie Bagolly. And that kind of explains his personality. He's super smart, but he's just like, aw shucks cute. Aw shucks cute. I don't know how to explain that, but to me, he's just aw shucks cute. Anyway, so I randomly just put the lace, and I tend to put the lace kind of crooked in places. I don't know why. To me, somehow it looks better. Other people may think it looks crazy, but for some reason I like it. So, and I like using different widths and things like that, because I think it adds to it. And basically, you're going to do the same thing that you did for the pocket. And you're going to go across and do that. Let me see. And like I said, it's just totally to taste. I mean, I couldn't tell you. There's no real formula to this, so you just kind of have to look around and decide how you like it. I do try and have some that overhang, so it doesn't look like it's just, you know, everything slapped on there, and then when you cut it off, I don't know, to me it looks better. So, and I have to watch myself, because I will overdo it, which, you know, I'm sure that's not shocking to anyone who's seen any of my videos. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so I'll trim these pieces. Like, I don't want that much overhang, but I try not to be perfect about it. I'll trim any of these really long ones here like that, but I don't mind a few strings here and there. Okay, like I said, I don't want it perfect. Try not to cut my folder. Okay, so that is probably about as perfect as I normally cut it. Now I do make sure that I kind of sort of cut around the tab without cutting my tab so that you can tell it's a folder. Now on this thing too, you don't have to make a file folder look out of this. I mean, that is, you could just, just make a triangle a piece. I mean, obviously does not have to be this shape. This is just what I did. Okay. The other thing that I do is I usually ink up the inside of this. But you can do it after you sew too. You don't have to do it now. This part of the tab right here, because you can see it, I usually put a piece of lace or something there. So let's just do that. And I will sew that. But, just so you can kind of, I'll overlap it and then cut it. And then again, I do cut around that just so it, you can still tell you have a tab. So that when it is closed, you can, it does have something there. So anyway, that is all I will do. And this is the next step, is I just take this to my sewing machine and I will sew, just the same way you did the other one, just zigzag around. I use a zigzag stitch because I want you to be able to see the stitches, I guess. And of course you could do this in a black thread or a dark thread or a colored thread to make it even look even more prominent. But I just go all the way across it and I try and, get as much as I can. But like I said, if there's little pieces popping up here and there, you can always glue those down when you're done. And they don't have to be perfectly on there. They're not going anywhere. I mean, okay, so I'll do that to both of my pieces, of course. But the thing is, on this booklet, is I will take coffee dyed paper or any kind of paper you want to put in there. You can put lined paper or whatever. I'm using coffee dyed. And I will just cut, just some papers to fit inside here. Obviously, you're going to fold them in half. And so just do them to fit. And I just take my sewing machine and sew right down the middle. Right down the middle. Instead, I mean, you can hand sew that in if you want to. You could staple it in. But I have my sewing machine out anyway, so I just sew it right down the middle, and then you have a little booklet. And I usually put, like one of these if I'm making a larger journal in each journal. And that's what you end up with. You end up with that. And then you end up with a little pocket that you can put in your page, in your book, and put whatever in. You can sew this on the page. You can glue this on the page. It depends on where you're at in making your journal. But these add to me a lot of character, a lot of texture, and they're just a lot of fun to make. And as you can see, there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, I think this one looks just as good as this one. I haven't sewn it yet, but it's not a tough process. I mean, they turn out really cute, and it's a cute little accent piece that you can put in there. And I love doing these. I mean, I usually put at least a couple elements like this in a larger journal. you know, I'll put like this in and then maybe a pocket. If I'm doing 2 signatures, I'll put one of each or whatever. Anyway, I hope everyone got something out of this and enjoyed it. And it was nice visiting with everybody. And I'm sorry if I was whining a little bit too much. Just, you know how it is when you're putting all your stuff away. It's not fun. Anyway, I hope everyone got some value, and please like and subscribe. And just remember, on February 14th, I will be giving this journal away to one of my subscribers. So please subscribe, and I'll have a drawing on the 14th. Okay, everyone have a wonderful day, great evening. Probably going to go out to dinner tonight with my husband, maybe see a movie. I'm not sure which one. I'll let you know. And we always have a hard time. I don't know if it's like you, coming up with what movie we both want to see. I want to see a chick flick. He wants to see, you know, some people shooting each people. And it's hard for us to find one that we both enjoy. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful, blessed day.